Next on the Masterpiece bandwagon from Wonderfest, we have Masterpiece MP-45 Bumblebee 2.0. I'll be honest with you, I didn't think that something like this was going to happen. I thought, I mean, it's not one of those like, is it too soon kind of things. But I mean, part of me feels that I think why this happened was because of the Bumblebee movie and them going like, well, if there's a time to release yet another Masterpiece Bumblebee, it's now. I mean, the time gap between the convoys, MP-01, MP-10, and then the MP that we're having now, the MP, version 2.0, version 3.0, whatever you want to call it, 35th anniversary convoy. There's always been a good, 5 to 10 year gap between, actually more 10-year gaps in between in a lot of ways. And the same thing even with the Rodimus. You had MP-09 and then it was MP, 28. There's a big gap there. I felt like the Bumblebee, the funny thing is the original Bumblebee, for some weird reason, it kind of went on mega clearance in Japan, the Masterpiece, and a lot of the repaints of it, like the G2 one and the red Bumblebee, didn't do very well. And, some people were saying, oh, the I'm not a fan of, some of the back kibble, and it doesn't look, there was a lot of hit or miss feelings about that original Masterpiece. But I thought it was a kind of a one and done kind of thing. Yeah. It's like, okay, well, you got your Masterpiece Bumblebee, and that's probably going to be it for mini-bots for a while anyhow. But now it's like they probably went, you know what, we have this Bumblebee movie coming. Here's a good opportunity for the 35th anniversary of Transformers to, you have Optimus Prime, you got Bumblebee. That's 84 right there, those two Autobots. Outside of, let's say, I can't even, Grimlock. Like, I can't really think of another Autobot that has that more mainstream notoriety than those three from the 84 series.
Yeah, for sure.
From season 1. So
even I'm remembering a kid's book that had really amazing paintings, and it was just basically a retelling of the first episode. And you definitely see Bumblebee there, Optimus Prime, just done really well. I wonder if I still have that book. I hope I kept
those were the Ladybird ones, if I remember correctly. But yeah, anyways, as I was saying, so they clearly tackled this the second time, and I mean, maybe it's just me because of the pose. It looks really good, but I think that the pose that they kind of put it in doesn't really display just how show accurate it really is. It clearly, from an engineering standpoint, we'll just start with the alt mode. They went for that Chrono Q, Microchange, stout little Beetle design, which that I do appreciate. One of the biggest flaws that the original Masterpiece Bumblebee had was it was trying to be a 1-for-1 scale Beetle, which is something that Bumblebee never was, ever. Bumblebee, it's the same thing with Cliffjumper. Like, people don't realize that Cliffjumper was a Porsche, but because of what his origins were as a toy, he was a Chrono Q Microchange design, meaning that whatever you are, you're going to be a squished version of it. You could be a long Mustang, but if you're a Chrono Q Microchange design from Takara back in the day, pre-Transformers, you're going to be squished. You're going to be small.
Yeah, you're going to be a super deformed
super
car,
deformed
basically.
SD. Yeah,
SD,
exactly. So they really emphasized that kind of design on the alt mode, which I appreciate heavily. But then when you go into the alt mode, there clearly is a strong emphasis to try to pack in and squeeze in as much as you can to do that. And the pose that they gave really doesn't, because I feel that when it comes to really showing off the character model, you got to have that character model's stoic pose, just to show here's how it looks. You know what I mean? Because here's the Fluoro Deary sketch next to it.
Okay, I see.
You know what I mean? Because again, Fluoro Deary is the one that cleaned up that design and made it what we have today. And I mean, we see there's a lot going on that backpack, behind the character. A lot of stuff is folded up there. There's a lot folded up in the feet. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
so
gotta put a wheel in the feet, man.
So it's.
I mean, at least the feet are big, but at least it's stable.
Yeah. So it's something
that
I mean? if it was in the standard stoic position, we probably would have a greater, because I know a lot of people have been complaining about it, but I think we'd have a greater appreciation of it. But I do really like how this one specifically and its alt mode look a lot more. at least from most angles, like the original Fluoro Deary design, where, I mean, I don't want to throw the stone, but I want to say that like the original Masterpiece was doing what a lot of third-party guys were doing, which were just like, well, because like we have that third-party cliff jumper that looks like a 1x1 scale kind of Porsche, kind of like, you know, instead of doing the squished Porsche. So, you know, and same thing, like Masterpiece Bumblebee, the original, had that, you know, that extra spare tire on the back, which the design just didn't have that. You know what I mean? Outside of a sticker on the back of the original toy. So this is much appreciated. It's much appreciated because, and it makes sense because, again, it's going to be a Bumblebee year. You know, but the movie's coming out in March for Japan. So by the time this comes out, and the thing is with this, especially too, is what's crazy when you think about it. Look what's behind it. You have you have Hound that's still in the gray proto colors.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We have Black Arachnia that we just talked about in the gray proto colors. This is already ready to go in packaging.
Yeah, and we didn't know anything about this.
And we
only got like an inkling a week before.
Yeah,
we got an inkling a week before. Someone was like, "Oh, we think this is gonna show up and get leaked," and it's like, "What? What are you talking about? They already did one. It's fine." And then Wonderfest, boom, here he is, colored and everything.
So who knows how quickly this is going to come to retail in Japan. I mean, the way that I see it, because, again, of the planning and the timing and the coincidence of it all, definitely before the end of the year, this is going to be out. And, this is super. It shows that, there's still the potential to do a mini-bot. My biggest concern was always after that one Bumblebee, and then everything else went on clearance, even his repaints. I was like, well, we're never going to get a Brawn or a Huffer or a Cliff Jumper. But it shows that scale, that concept is still alive and well, and possibly we could get more out of it. Probably before all of that even happens, we'll get a few repaints out of this. Who it'll be, I don't know. Maybe we'll just get a G2 color. Maybe we'll get a red Bumblebee again. Maybe we'll get Glyph or Bug Bite, some of the weirder color schemes. We've gotten the weird color schemes before, so it wouldn't surprise me.
And just another thing, too, like from that article we read way back where they were teasing the new Masterpiece Optimus Prime. We're like, okay, well, we've done 3 already. We've done 2 already. How do we improve on this? And it seems like they're always looking for ways to improve, and it's just, when they get an opportunity to release it, they'll totally take it.
Well, it's funny because like we're gonna talk about it later this week, but like it's the same thing with the Masterpiece Blue Streak that recently surfaced.
Yeah.
Where it's the same thing where they go like, you know what, we did a good job, and I agree, they did do a good job the first time. I really love Masterpiece Blue Streak, probably my favorite of the 3, although Smokescreen's a close second. Mm-hmm. But they still figured out a way that, this is what we did then. Let's take what we're doing now and apply it to then. So, like, what I mean by that is, I get a feeling Bumblebee might have multiple facial reactions. This isn't confirmed. This is just a guess.
Yeah, I could see that. The head looks big enough to have some kind of gimmick where that's possible.
That white diamond area could unclip and have, like, a different facial expression. He clearly has a weapon that has a detachable, we'll call it effects accessory. You know what I mean? Like, clearly,
because that's what they're doing now, basically.
Yeah, that's the name of the game with Siege. So there's probably going to be a little more with him. Maybe he'll come with a spike, or like the original Bumblebee came with an exosuit and a spike/spark plug, kind of thing going on. So it shows that there is a potential for this being something in the market today. If it doesn't have an exosuit, maybe the price point will be either the same price as before, because there is inflation you have to factor in, because it was many years ago, or it'll be slightly cheaper. Who knows? But this is great. This is really cool. I know that there's a certain colorist that I think we're going to probably try to have on the podcast to get his 2 cents on it and what he thinks, because he's the authority on this character, just like
pretty much,
just like how I am for Roddy and how you are for Jazz. But this is spectacular. Again, it's one of these things, like I was saying with the Black Arachnia, its release is a very good barometer and indicator of what could possibly be able to come later on, seeing that this does find success. So yeah, definitely